Now, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed by now, but Fortnite does a lot of crossovers. They've worked with PlayStation and with Xbox, with Marvel and with DC. Hell, I would bet that it's probably harder to name a entertainment company that Epic hasn't worked with than a company they have worked with. They host massive social events with rappers, have seamless in-game events that captivate their player base with an entertaining story. So why, then, did Fortnite only reach its maximum popularity once they reverted the game back to an older state? Fortnite seems to have always prioritized one thing, often at the expense of their dedicated fanbase, the casual players. And casual players are honestly who I believe to be the target audience of Fortnite's massive events. Well, them alongside the new players that Fortnite hopes to bring in from the popularity of said events. But if the OG season has proved anything, it's that packing the game full of social events and having massive epic crossovers isn't what draws people to Fortnite. Considering that the OG season reached the highest concurrent playership for Fortnite tells you that this OG season did not only bring back veterans, but it brought in new players as well. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we in the business call a graph. This graph represents the global interest in Fortnite, at least based on search inquiries. As you can see, the graph has a negative trend line, meaning like with all things in modern society, it's going downhill. I know it did not take you long to notice that massive mountain at the beginning of the graph, and you guessed it. That was all OG Fortnite. The first 8 seasons of the game were actually surprisingly consistent, meaning that Fortnite mostly sustained its popularity for over a year. But as you very much did see from the graph, after this period, the game's popularity has been consistently decreasing. There are, of course, some exceptions to this rule, like the massive event known as The End during Season 10, where they shut down the servers for 2 days and everyone went apeshit, or, you know. But Fortnite always managed to lose the quick spike in interest quite quickly, with their numbers slowly but surely continuing to go down. That is, obviously, until right now, when the numbers are steadily rising and have yet to drop. This spike is well known to be due to a massive influx of nostalgia driven by the OG season, and people were really needing that kick of OG Fortnite, so all's well that ends well, right? Wrong. Fortnite can't stay OG forever, and Season 5 is literally 2 days away at the time of recording this video. We know that the massive crossovers and events Epic has put on hasn't really kept players around. Neither has constantly introducing new, overpowered, significantly unfair weapons into the... Wait a minute. We have talked about what hasn't kept people around, but we haven't talked about what forced them to leave in the first place. I'll go first. I stopped playing Fortnite for a few reasons. I will list them in the order that they come to mind. Planes, sweats, mechs, TTVs, way too many guns, sweats, swords, gimmicks, and last but not least, sweats. I'm sure you noticed that one category, which I listed under multiple names, mind you, appeared 4 times in my list. That's right, sweats fucking suck. But first, let's talk about the vehicles that I mentioned. When planes were first added to Fortnite in Season 7, I initially thought they were super cool. However, quite quickly I began to despise them after seeing 7 planes in the final circle of the first match that I played. People shot out of those planes could fly to the ground and stay relatively safe, whereas if you were unlucky enough to be planeless, there wasn't much you had going for you. Next, I mentioned the mechs, which were about as bad as the planes on 25 pounds of cocaine. There is a reason they haven't come back in OG Fortnite, and I hope to God it stays that way. I would explain to you how bad they were, but watching the best player in the game get deleted by one should convey my point well enough.
What the heck? What? Bro, where am I getting shot from? There's a whole, like... Whoa.
It's safe to say that after that, we all would be speechless too. The swords were a similar story, ruining tournaments and casual games alike, and if you haven't seen it before, here's your personal taste of a shit show.
Not the Predator, bud. He is. Psalm is a Predator. Another one's going to be right in front of him. Some defense coming through here, but what are you going to be able to do? You're just cutting through the structures, and Uzi falls to the Infinity Blade.
There it is. See, he's looking to break the structures that are connecting these high ground players so he can pick up more elims too from the fall damage.
Gonna get another one here. He's gonna be trapped inside of the storm, though.
Doesn't matter. He can
Oh my
God! He wants to be right now.
Gets
he catches
another
someone
elimination.
else.
He's
Just crushing players.
The clip only ends there to keep this video short. Obviously, Psalm won that game. The swords were incredibly unfair. To add insult to injury, the plane problem and the sword problem were occurring during the exact same season, making playing the game during that time downright upsetting. And trust me, I do have a point in mentioning all of Fortnite's past mistakes. After all, Fortnite cannot become a better game if its creators cannot recognize its shortcomings. The good news is that in the case of planes, mechs, and the sword, Fortnite's developers very much recognized the issues and have prevented them from reappearing. In OG Fortnite, you can't redeploy when jumping from a plane unless you've dedicated a slot to holding gliders, a significantly more fair system than outright allowing redeploy. The sword thankfully did not return for the current season, and as previously mentioned, neither did the mech. This did not, however, stop Fortnite from introducing other unfair items like Gunner's Stinger SMG, Thorn's Scoped Burst SMG, Inquisitor's Suppressed SMG, Deadpool's Hand Cannons, Ambion's Sniper Rifle, TNTina's Kaboom Bow, Raz's Explosive Bow, Kit's Shockwave Launcher, Spire Assassin's Recycler, Paper Bomb Kunai, Thunder Spears, Cybertron Cannon, Thorn's Vampiric Blade, Luke's Lightsaber, Luke's Green Lightsaber, Mace Windu's Lightsaber, Luke's Blade Lightsaber, Rey's Lightsaber, Obi-Wan's Lightsaber, Kylo Ren's Lightsaber, Darth Vader's Lightsaber. Need I say more? That arguably annoying segment should have hopefully put into perspective just how many ridiculously unfair weapons have come and gone throughout Fortnite's history. And the answer is too many. So what can be done about this? It's actually pretty simple. I am no game-making expert, but here's what I would do with weapons if I worked at Epic Games. I would categorize each weapon, which is pretty simple. Rifle, shotgun, SMG, sniper, pistol, miscellaneous. The game has already done this, actually, as is evident by the locker weapon skins. I would create a default of 3 variants of each weapon. I would make each variant very good at one thing and very bad at other things, kind of like rock, paper, scissors. But each variant will have playstyles that allow them to individually shine. I'm sure some of you have taken notice that this isn't too dissimilar from how Fortnite actually does it, and you would be right. But their version of this idea has so many inconsistencies that make the game unbalanced. The shotguns that are currently in Fortnite actually represent exactly how this idea has been done improperly. In this comparison, I will only be looking at the legendary variants of each weapon. The same general ideas aside from reload time and damage apply to all other rarities. The pump has a tight spread and does 116 damage, but it takes time between shots. It takes a quick 3.7 seconds to reload it, and it has the smallest mag of all shotguns at only 5 bullets. And so the pump is mainly preferred by people with great aim who have the skill to get up close to who they are fighting. The tac has a wide spread and does less damage, but it can fire decently quickly and put out more damage per second than the pump. It takes a sluggish 5.13 seconds to reload. It has a decently sized mag at 8 bullets, so this shotgun is preferred by people who might not have as good aim as pump users, but they can make up for it with the looser spread and the higher DPS. The drum shotgun is where Epic completely disregards balancing. It shoots faster than the tac, which was already in the game to be a quicker shooting shotgun. It does nearly twice the DPS of the tac at every rarity. It melts builds and has ammo left over to kill someone thanks to its 12-round magazine, and it's pretty much just stupid. This issue would be non-existent if Epic had just put a little more time into making sure each shotgun variant was balanced. As Fortnite OG currently stands, there are no unfair mythic weapons, which is a plus. There are no swords or mechs or redeploy planes, which is again a plus, but the weapons are still far from balanced. This honestly hasn't been a make it or break it kind of thing for me though, so I'll let it slide. My main reason for bringing this whole topic up is that I'm sure, since OG Fortnite is almost out the door, Epic will go right back to releasing overpowered weapons that give undeserving and unskilled players the most unfair of advantages. Since the data pretty clearly points out that the more complicated weapons are added, the less people play, I don't think that will be very good for the longevity of the game. And now let's get on to my favorite topic, the sweats, and how exactly Epic can fix them. Now, by fix, I don't mean Epic Games can force all of the good players to stop playing or something, but they can certainly do a better job at keeping the casual players away from the people who will rebuild Manhattan when provoked. This one is actually stupid simple, and I think Epic should actually consider this. Shout out to my brother whose idea this was. So first, I'm going to touch on exactly how this game's skill-based matchmaking system does, or doesn't, work. When you first drop in, either on a new account or on an account that hasn't touched the game in 3 years like myself, you will notice that you can absolutely dog on literally every player in your lobby. If they all dropped at the same location as you, there would probably be a decent chance that you could walk out of your first game with a 99 kill win. I'm not even kidding. The initial lobbies that you get put into at a low level don't even house a single player. As far as I'm concerned, they are literally all bots. The more games you win against these bots, the more real people you will run into. So unless you are at the same skill level as the bots and continue to lose to them, you will inevitably make it to a lobby consisting mostly of real players. This creates a very rude awakening, as you will quickly go from having fun dunking on bots to getting your teeth stomped into the curb by a soccer skin with no back bling. And then your corpse will be danced on, and then you will be sad. Here's the simple fix. We already know that the game keeps track of the amount of builds you as a player place each game. We also know that they keep track of kills, deaths, and probably build edits too. The current skill-based matchmaking system is based on kills and placement. At least that is how the ranked system works, and I'm going to assume that also translates to casual play as well. The easiest way to separate the sweats from the human bots is to, in addition to placement and kills, take into consideration the amount of builds a player has placed and the amount of edits they make to said builds. We all know the difference between a bad player and a good player in Fortnite is maybe 20% aim and 80% how good you are at building and editing. So, if Little Timmy places 2 builds a match, he should never get into a lobby with Big John, who places 2,000 builds a match and cranks out triple edits like they're nothing. Currently, if Little Timmy has good aim and dunks on a few bot lobbies with that aim, he's at high risk of being domed by Big John at any moment in any match, even though the two players are hardly comparable. With my idealized system in place, players would be split into 4 main categories: low build, low kill, high build, low kill, low build, high kill, and high build, high kill. Low build, low kill players will only ever see low build, low kill players until they improve. You get the point. So with this system, no matter what you are good at, you will get accurate skill-based matchmaking based on your personal abilities as a player. This system could be expanded. For instance, in the high kill, high build lobbies, another system could be added to determine how good each individual is at editing, and that could categorize different skill levels that way. Basically, this new system that my brother and I came up with would revolutionize Fortnite's skill-based matchmaking. They just don't know it yet. And I know that someone is going to say, but Xenon, if people suck at building, that's what Zero Build is for. But I think that's fundamentally misunderstood. When I first started playing Fortnite and I wasn't good at building, my first thought wasn't, oh, I wish there was a mode without building. It was, okay, I just gotta get better at building. I feel as though most Fortnite players probably play both Zero Build and the regular game. Not to mention a lot of players who want to have the convenience of being able to build up somewhere, but they don't have the time to get good at cranking 90s. This system would allow for all of that to be possible, and that would be really nice. To anyone who has stuck around this far, thank you, from the bottom of my heart. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll stick around a while. Later.